Hi, kids. Welcome to Doobies with Doug. Doobie, Doug. Um, Today we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects: religion. Now, I've heard it said that you have to respect everybody's beliefs. No, the fuck I don't. Jeffrey Dahmer had beliefs. Child molesters had beliefs. Hitler had beliefs. I don't respect any of their beliefs. Now, let's move on. I don't need to respect your belief. I need to respect your right to believe whatever the fuck you want. If you're going to believe retarded, fucking literally retarded. I don't mean that in anything but the literal motherfucking sense of the word. Retarded teachings put out by slaveholders 2,000 fucking years ago to scare the slaves into being obedient, then I'm going to call you an idiot. Okay? If you need to put some kind of name on the grand mystery of what the universe is and why it's here, fine. Do so. I'm not going to hold that against you. But if you need to use some 2,000-year-old Bronze Age mythology that was plagiarized from ancient mythologies and put it together into a fucking epic tale of bullshit and insist that people treat it as if it's real or sensible or kind or loving or any of the things that history tells us that religion is not, then fuck you. And I don't give two fucking shits if you're offended. Not two. Not a half of one. Not a nano millionth of a motherfucking shit do I give if it offends you that I think your fucking religion is childish and stupid and evil. Okay? Inventing answers to questions you can't answer is not good. Talking fish, you fucking flying donkeys, 6-year-old child brides, 7.5 million animals, different species of animals on a boat. 15 million animals on a boat. Penguins waddled their ass from fucking Antarctica to the Middle East somehow. There was a great flood. Thriving fucking civilizations failed to note any flood, and there was no interruption in there. The entire motherfucking menagerie of bullshit stories that are out there are all completely, utterly, totally, 100% fucking ridiculous. They only breed one thing. They only teach one thing that can't be taught with common sense and experience, and that's obedience to a higher power. Emphasis on the obedience. Every religion that's alive today is spread through lies, deceit, murder, genocide, inquisitions. It's useless. It's worse than useless. It's probably the single biggest detriment to mankind. For real. Raising your children to think that nonsense is fucking real is evil. You wonder why there's so many people reaching out for all these mental disorders and psychological disorders. They think they're gonna burn in a fucking lake of fire if they masturbate. That would stress me the fuck out. So No, I don't need to respect your religion. I don't need to respect your opinion. I don't even need to respect you. In fact, I would say that respect is going to be earned from me or not given at all. And if what you show me is a pattern of disrespect, I will show no quarter. It's 2022. There's people all over the world, including right here in this neighborhood, in every neighborhood in America, who think it's perfectly logical to slice up the genitalia of their children. How many centuries has soap existed? And we're still cutting up people's dicks? For fuck's sake. Let alone the fact there's a reason they say there's no atheist in foxholes. And it has nothing to do with people discovering they're not an atheist once they're in a foxhole. It has to do with you need to believe the bullshit story to be able to put on a fucking uniform, a costume, jump on an airplane, go fly to someplace you never fucking heard of and kill some dude you never met. Obedience. Don't question the official narrative. That's what religion teaches. Well, there's good things in religion. Yeah, syphilis is beautiful close up under a microscope. There are good teachings in almost every religion, but they're based on lies. If the story goes, a few bad apples spoils the bunch. Not a few bad apples are a bummer, or something that's mostly true is true. The most powerful, the most evil, the most dangerous, the most palatable lies are almost all true, or no one's going to buy it. Religion is the first step in indoctrinating children into accepting whatever bullshit fucking story comes along. You're going to go to heaven when you die. The check is in the mail. I promise not to come in your mouth. Vote for me. I'll lower taxes. I'm not a warmonger like all the other presidents. I watched American bombs fall on innocent people when Obama was president. Don't tell me he's a good person. When the answers to the really important questions are God did it, you're missing basic, fundamental understandings of the universe that you need to be a proper fucking human. Religion is what makes people think they can kill other people that think differently. Religion is what makes people think they control other people's choices. So, no, I don't need to respect your beliefs. I think teaching religion as fact should be made illegal, should be considered child abuse. You're not allowed to enter into any type of religious teachings until you're 16 years old. to give a barometer of that. How long do you think circumcision would be a thing if the boys had to wait till they were 18 to get it done? There'd be maybe 500,000 weirdos across the planet that would carry on the tradition for another decade. Ain't no full-grown adult male gonna volunteer to go get the end of his fucking cock sliced off. That's how ridiculous this is. God bless you. With what? How? What the fuck are you talking? I pray for you. I'll talk to my fucking cat for you. Difference is, I can see my cat, and the cat reacts. He usually licks his butthole, but he reacts. I've never seen God lick his butthole or do anything else, for that matter. Thankfully, the internet is ruining religion altogether. Thank God. Ha! See the irony there? Thank God. So yeah, no, I'm not going to respect any of it. It's all horseshit. And astrology is just another weird fucking religion. It's what I call quasi-science. Does the alignment of the planets have an effect on your biochemistry? Yes. Are you able to measure them? No. Not with the equipment available today. You're doing tarot reading with stars. That's it. And tarot reading evolved into psychoanalysis a century ago. Nobody's interpreting shit. They're making observations and using the tool, whatever it might be, tarot cards, yarrow root, chicken bones, the stars, as a mechanism to express what they have observed. There's no mystical to the universe that you're connecting into. It's just your innate ability to feel what somebody else is feeling, to empathize. So that all goes right in the same bucket. I mean, there's two words that none of this can fucking stand up to. Prove it. Fucking prove it. Just once. Offer me a single shred of evidence, not conjecture, not subjective thought, evidence for a creator. There's none. There's zero. There's next to zero for almost all of the stuff we call science, technology, what we know and understand. They're so limited. Our understanding of gravity is minuscule. And the changes in the understanding of the forces of gravity have radically changed just in the last 50 years, in the last 100 years. We start traveling to other universes or other galaxies and so on and so forth, that's going to grow and it's going to change. These religious doctrines always stay the same until society progresses to a point where, like, yeah, we don't really actually believe in big fucking winged, horny fucking demons anymore that run through the night and kill our children. And that's the only thing that changes about them. If it's so easy for you to believe that a guy lived inside a fucking whale for 3 days, you should be able to believe Carl Sagan and Stephen Hawking and Albert Einstein and Professor Bari, because they got way more fucking evidence. And people ask me, oh, you should just really dig into the beauty of the scriptures and the Quran. I've read it all. I can't tell you everything I've read about religion. I've read every religious text that's been translated to English, from the Tibetan Book of the Dead to the Chinese Book of the Dead to the Hindus and the Hindis and the Sufis and the Christians and the fucking before the Jews and the Old Testament and the Talmud I've read all of this fucking shit. And some of it's beautiful and some of it's fucking boring. It's all fiction. It's fucking fiction. Muhammad, who married a 6-year-old girl, did not fly to heaven on a magic fucking winged donkey. And that's what I was never anything but an atheist. I was born that way, and no one managed to program me to believe any of this bullshit. There is no picture of Santa Claus in my head. There is no picture of the Easter Bunny in my head. There's a pictures of those things, but I never thought of Santa Claus or my earliest memories. I knew that shit was fucking bullshit. It's the same thing. And people don't see the connection between I'm going to believe this stuff because my parents believe this stuff, and I'm going to believe that it's good because my parents were good people. And I'm going to follow a doctrine that has existed since way before I was born that I am unclear about what it means. I've met many religious people. I have debated many religious people. I was locked in a cell for a year with a very religious person who I debated. And that ended with him fucking snapping and trying to kill me. Which says a lot. But I'm here to tell you the percentage of them that actually know the text that they're quoting, very limited. Very limited. And if you call them with their own text, you're taking that out of context. What part of she longed after donkey hung people that came like horses am I misreading? Seems pretty plain. But people don't see the connection being raised on this shit and then thinking Joe Biden is your friend or Bernie Sanders is your friend and he's got your best interest in mind. Or that Mel Gibson's a good person or Brad Pitt's a brilliant, athletic, whatever the fuck you think of Brad Pitt. Because when you separate your psyche into these two parts, one part that believes this magical story, and your other part that has to wipe your ass and make a sandwich. And that's why there's this common misconception about left brain, right brain thinking. There's no such fucking thing. This is a forced indoctrination you've put into your brain to separate the bullshit story that you fucking rail against with every part of your being and your logical brain, which has been beat into this form that you're a bad person if you don't believe this bullshit story. Religion stops you from asking why in instances that are vital for you to be asking why. It literally retards the human race. So I'm not an atheist. I'm an anti-theist, militant, hostile to all religions, anti-theist. Not physically hostile, but hostile. And I've converted a great number of former believers. And I'm very proud of that. And people want to point at the good things that come out of something. And the church does good works, and religion has good teachings in it, and so on and so forth. Well, let's examine a historical context for that. There was once a country that had been at war, and the countries it was at war with uh, imposed severe penalties upon them. And it led to 2 generations that were much, much worse than any depression the United States has ever suffered. And millions of people froze and starved to death. And then a political party arose in that nation, and they found ways to make that nation pop, thrive again, to rebuild their factories, to reopen their farms, to put people back to work, to rebuild an economy, to build a healthcare system, to build an orphanage system, to all kinds of things. They radically changed the face of their country. That party was the Nazi Party. That party was the Socialist Republic of Germany. The people, whatever that was called, that was Hitler's party. They rebuilt. They pulled by their bootstraps. They pulled the country out from the depths. You know, when you listen to our presidents give a speech, that's the way it fucking went. And when you're raised to believe this bullshit story, you listening to Roosevelt give that speech, or Truman give that speech, and you shed, or Zelensky in fucking Ukraine, you shed a little bit of a fucking tear without any thought for whether or not those people are actual evil fucks, because you've never met them and you don't know who they are and what they do and how they got there. So the root of the greater lion's share of the issues on the planet can be traced back to generation and generation and generation and generation of people being raised on bullshit. Complete and utter total bullshit. I remember in my 20s hanging out with the natives and learning a lot of their mythology and stuff. And the reason I found it so interesting was A, that it was based on what's happening around you, what you see and hear and feel and smell. And the second was is that they're pretty aware that it's bullshit. They know the planet wasn't really populated by a celestial coyote's blood clot. They know this. It's the stories of the grandfathers, and it's the meanings that are being kept alive. So, and I feel the same way about Buddhism. And when it's not practiced as a religion, when it's practiced as what it's meant to be, which is a practice of being a good human, that's what Buddhism is. It's not a theistic thing. It can be applied to theism, and a lot of sects of Buddhism do become theistic and treat Buddha like a creator. But Buddha was just a teacher. And what he taught was letting the universe be what it is without yourself getting in the way. Unattachedness. This phrase enlightenment, I don't like it. Albert Einstein, if you've read the theory of relativity, E equals mc squared, and you understand what that means, you know that you're already made up of light. So, whether you admit it or not, you are enlightened. So, there's that. Bang. Buddha says, before I was enlightened, I carried wood and carried water and chopped wood. And after I attained enlightenment, I carried water and chopped wood. And that's the nature of it. This whole promise that there's a better world for you when you die is there in order to get you to be okay with the suffering that is being imposed upon you by others. There's so much of this culture, especially now, that is moving very, very quickly. And when something hits the zeitgeist that is really powerful and really factual, it spreads like wildfire. And more and more and more and more people are catching on to this manipulation. For fuck's sake, stop teaching your kids that shit. It's not good for their brains. Anyway, that's about all of the ranting I'm going to do about religion for today. I'd like to see it scrubbed clean from the planet, relegated to where it belongs, a museum of historical fuck-ups. This has been Doobies with Doug. Stabby.